The Battlefield 5 update cycle has 2 more major updates before it ends for good. One in May and then one in June. The May update, which is rumoured to launch in the next couple of weeks, will be the first one since DICE moved to working from home due to the global world health crisis. And it will be combining the previously cancelled April update and the stuff that was planned for May. And then after that, we have the June update. And that's going to launch at some point, probably in the middle of June, something like that. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, what content we can reasonably expect from Battlefield 5's last content update. Make sure, if you're not already, that you are subscribed to the channel to keep up to date with Battlefield 5 across these last 2 updates, and whatever content we do get, and Battlefield 6 content here on the channel as well. Plenty of that will be coming over the next few months as we learn more about what DICE is doing. Okay then, let's start by setting some foundations for the video here. This might well be the last update for Battlefield 5, and we'd all love to see that come with a huge amount of content, but the sad reality is that that's not really very likely to happen. We know that DICE was clearly working towards some sort of new theatre of war before the halting of support, and so the possibilities there would have meant another substantial update somewhere in the future, similar to the Pacific back in late 2019, but being where we are in the year 2020, it's very unlikely that any of that content will be in a finished state. So I don't expect that we'll be seeing much that leans towards where DICE was planning to go next in the World War II conflict. What I think we will be seeing instead is a lot of content that happens right now to be in a near finished state, that can kind of be cobbled together on short notice and sort of wrapped up for one final flourish. We've seen many different data mines over the last few months, so we've got a good sense of what DICE has there and what might be ready to go, so I expect it's going to be more items like that as opposed to a themed update where everything is centered around some sort of narrative. Let's talk maps first of all, or map, as the case may be. The only clue that we've had so far is this image here of a North African location. It looks like some kind of German camp or roadblock here, and this is very likely the Al-Marj encampment map, which is one of the several 5v5 maps that DICE scrapped in mid-2019 when they cancelled their competitive module for Battlefield 5. You might remember several months ago that this map momentarily showed up in the server browser, and that led players to believe that it might become another smaller map that DICE was looking to add into the game, following on from Lofoten Islands and Provence earlier on in the summer. Now, of course, that never happened, but looking at this image here, I think it might be likely that DICE will play out a similar kind of plan and add this into Battlefield 5. If indeed this map is one of the smaller originally built for 5v5 maps, then I expect it will only support the smaller game modes like Team Deathmatch and Squad Conquest, and if that were the case, it would be a little bit disappointing considering the vast majority of players, they don't play Battlefield for small game modes, they play for larger, more open locations where infantry and vehicles, they mix together. But on this occasion, considering the update that this is supposed to arrive in and the situation that we find ourselves in, a map is a map. And considering this is very likely to be the last one that Battlefield 5 gets, then I for sure will be giving it a go. As for any other maps, I don't think it's very likely that DICE has anything ready for release at this point. I think even this Libya map, Al-Marj encampment here, this is probably was in a finished position for 5v5, but it's had to be altered for the other game modes like TDM and Squad Conquest, and I'm assuming here that it will still be a 5v5 map, but as for anything else, I really don't think DICE has anything ready. There were rumours of a 5th Pacific map called Pacific Ocean, and references to that were found in the game files by data miners, but unfortunately the trail kind of went cold on that because DICE skipped their April update, and that meant that the community had no way of digging deeper into potentially new references. My guess is that up until the announcement of the end of support for Battlefield 5, the team will have been working on map content for the next major theatre of war. Whether that was the Eastern Front, or the Allied invasion of Europe, or the Italian Front, we're never really going to know for sure, but if work was indeed being done on those maps, then the chances are that the maps were nowhere near finished at that point, and they wouldn't be in any sort of state to be added into Battlefield 5's multiplayer. I'd love it if DICE managed to bring another map into the game at this very late stage. It would be great for the core community that's left playing the game. It would be a good send-off having 2 maps over the summer months to keep people interested for just a little bit longer. But personally, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're only going to see 1 map here. Likely all resources were halted on that support before going towards the next theatre of war. Then, looking beyond map content, we should talk about some new weapons, because those were specifically mentioned in the blog post as part of the June update. Recently, I posted a video highlighting potentially 50 weapons and gadgets that are mentioned in the Battlefield 5 files in some way, so whether that's a full weapon model, one that works in the game, or just an image of a weapon, or part of the weapon, maybe an attachment for it, or even just a passing reference. And I spoke about how likely many of those were going to be scrapped with Battlefield 5's halting of support. Well, it is safe to say that some of those weapons will end up in the June update. There's no way that DICE is going to create brand new weapons for the June update between now and when the update is due to be released, because weapons take a lot longer to be made than just a 6-week period. It's just not clear how many of those weapons from the files will end up in this final update for the game. Realistically, in my head, I think we're going to see maybe a handful of weapons, 3, 4, possibly 5 at a stretch, and with those, they will be the ones that are already in a finished state or a very nearly finished state based on the data mines that we've had from the last few patches. Weapons like the Wellgun SMG or the Patchet SMG, maybe the Lanchester, the M1917 Enfield rifle, perhaps the Wellrod pistol from the Chapter 4 trailer that was reportedly being converted from its 5v5 setup into main multiplayer. Maybe the suppressed PPK pistol, the Sjogren shotgun that was shown in the This Is Battlefield 5 trailer before the launch of the game, the Doppelschuss flare pistol, a gadget that was supposed to launch in Chapter 6, but it missed the end of the chapter because it was broken, haha, and the April patch got cancelled as well. There are quite a few options here for stuff that DICE could add. And there are plenty of other weapons in various states of early development that potentially could reach the game in a June update if the amount of effort was put in to finish those weapons. Ones like the LAD light machine gun that needs some animation work, the Johnson semi-auto rifle that needs some sight adjustments, the K31-43 bolt action rifle that needs some works to get the optics working right. There are quite a few options in the files, but I think it will be a small selection of those 50 or so weapons that are in a fully working state that will land with the update, as opposed to any of the other weapons that might need more extensive work. It depends, really. If those weapons that need more work didn't need that much work to be ready, then maybe those could be included. And I think DICE will want as much content in this patch as they can conceivably get, but they will also have to be cautious not to add anything that might not be fully ready and therefore might break when they release the update. DICE can hardly afford to have another patch down the road come out to fix content that was supposed to signal the end of Battlefield 5 support. That would be just a classic fitting end to Battlefield 5 that I really hope doesn't happen. And then lastly, DICE has also said that the June update will include all the various game tweaks, all the fixes and changes that we've come to expect from a Battlefield 5 patch, and hopefully that makes the game perform a little bit better, or as it should do, before support is finally ended. That also comes with the continuation of weekly rewards. That will consist of Battlefield currency and company coin handouts to unlock items that you might have missed from previous weeks and stuff that you can buy in the armory, and a bunch of events and activities will also return, including the return of Friday night Battlefield servers, although I kind of think that that won't happen until DICE has updated the community games feature to get it in a position that they have enough modifiers and features to run proper server rotations, but we'll have to wait and see. For me, The June update is going to be rather bittersweet. We're going to get some more content for the game that we do like to play, even though it frustrates the hell out of us most of the time. But the content is not likely to have much of a link together. It's all going to be cobbled together on short notice to try and bring something together for the end of support for this game. It's certainly not how I'd have liked Battlefield 5 to end, and I'm almost 100% certain that the DICE team didn't want it to end this way either. But I will reiterate something that I said on Twitter that the day support was cancelled. Perhaps this is for the best. Rather than continuing on with a project that was basically doomed from the start, a project that's been surrounded in controversy and negativity from the moment it was revealed, perhaps it's best if DICE just moves on and works on their next project, putting in all of that energy to try and make something the best that it can be, and make Battlefield 6 a much more Battlefield game than Battlefield 5 was. Thanks very much for watching today. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, and leave me a rating as well. It is greatly appreciated. And I'll catch you all in the next one.